been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. A little bit of a new change of pace today. We are joined on the jump by a very special guest, Blaze X-Line, the Baird Brothers Big Dogs of the Valley winner this week. Blaze, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Yep, thanks for having me on the show.
You know, you saw all the names that were on the Big Dog nominee, and they were a lot of big names, and your community was the one that stepped up and got the most votes. What's that mean to you, knowing that Salem has your back and the Salem fans went out and got you this win?
It's good to know that they can rely on me to go out there and have their backs. So it's good to know that they have my back there. So it's good to know that.
Looking at you on the field, too, I think there's no doubt that you and Jackson Johnson have some sort of amazing chemistry. Talk to me a little bit about, is that something that you two were working on from last season going into this season? Because it seems like for some reason you two are clicking so well on the football field, helping your stats, helping his stats. So was that kind of pre-coordinated before the season?
Yeah, me and him actually talk like on and off the field lots, in the locker room, even before a play. We just keep on talking. We just are good friends. We just keep on talking when to throw the ball and when not to. So,
yeah, I imagine the relationship between quarterback and receiver and everything has to be so dynamic. When did you guys really start to build that chemistry and that relationship? I mean, does it date back all the way pre-high school, or was it something that when you guys got on varsity, you started to develop it? How far back does that relationship go?
I'd say my sophomore year, I played a little bit of wide receiver, and that's when Jackson started to play at quarterback. So that's when we started to build that a little bit of chemistry there. So.
Talk to me a little bit, too, I mean, where your kind of career started in football. For those who may not know Blaze X-Line, the player, when did this love for football start, and when did you start finding yourself really getting involved in the sport?
I've always played since I was younger, but it started off with like flag, and then I ended up playing tackle. But then I kept on playing, and then here I am now, just still playing till this day with all my teammates.
They say you can't coach speed, but I know there has to be some things you do or some things that you've done to kind of develop that speed that you have, because it's ridiculous. How hard do you work on your footwork and the ability to kind of build your agility and your quickness off your cuts and things like that?
I do work off season a little bit. I do run track and stuff, so it does help with a lot of these things. And my wide receiver coach does help me a lot with a lot of these things. He is the track coach too, so he helps me a lot with a lot of these things.
We're always curious on how big dogs can get bigger. So looking at what you're playing, what you've already done, which is absolutely incredible on the football field, Blaze, talk to me a little bit about what you see in your game, reflect on your game a little bit, and talk to me a little bit about what you think you can improve upon to make this Salem team better and really get them to that next level when we talk tournament time.
I just think as a team, we can all do everything better, like just the little things. We can all get better at everything. It's just really just the little things, just coming together, knowing the plays, and just going out there and just winning 1-0 every week. That's really it.
Like you said earlier, you started with the wide receiver position kind of in sophomore season. When you look at yourself back then and yourself now, what do you think have been the biggest strides you've made on the field and off the field from then to now?
My route running is definitely the biggest thing that I've helped improve on. I've worked on that every year till now, and that's my biggest improvement.
Taking a look a little bit about your career now, being in your senior year, and reflecting a little bit about your career at Salem, your life at the Salem community. Talk to me a little bit about how much that Salem community has meant to you, how much this team has meant to you, and just reflect a little bit about your time in Salem.
It means a lot to me. I mean, I played sports throughout my whole life and stuff. Everyone's been with me. They've always, helped me through everything. There's never really been a hard time. Everyone's kind of with you. They're never against you. So,
when you talk about the Friday night atmosphere and what goes into a game day, what's your favorite thing about playing football on a Friday night, especially those home games in Salem?
Probably, of course, playing the game and winning the games, but I love after the game spending time with my family, my friends and stuff, and then enjoying the win with the team.
Looking at those game days too, and we know you got another matchup with Minerva that I know the whole Salem Quakers team would love to take their frustrations out this Friday. What is kind of your game day routine? Do you have a game day routine? Are you superstitious about anything when it comes to Friday nights?
I'm really not. I'm not someone who really has to lock in, but I do like to listen to music pre-game. I'm sure everyone does, but that's really all I have to do. But then just go out there and play once it's time.
Ty brought up the fact that you guys are taking out frustration. Obviously, you're bouncing back from a tough loss, but mentally, one of the big things that Running Point really loves is stay even. I mean, how are you guys managing the mentality of, yes, we want to bounce back, yes, we want to play better, but we can't get too much into our heads about how we played last week, and we just have to go out and play Minerva the way we would play anybody?
Well, those things you just learn from, and those things happen. You just learn from that. We're taught very well to come back from those types of things, and you just go out and get the next one. So thankfully, we're taught very well to just strive and come back. So thanks to the coaches for that.
Talk to me a little bit too. If anyone that hasn't seen Blaze X-Line play, you need to, and you need to tune in this Friday and try to check them out. But talk to me, for those people who don't know, give them a little bit of a preview of your game. Explain what Blaze X-Line is on the football field in 3 words.
3 words. Speed. Let's see here. I don't know what word to say for this, but you just don't know what's going to happen, really. It's just, you really just don't know what's going to happen. That's all I got to say. I mean,
unpredictability is what I'll say for that one, and I like that one a lot because I think that's exactly what you are on the football field. It's speed, it's unpredictability. You never know when a big play is going to get rattled off from Jackson Johnson to X-Line, and I think that's one of the biggest threats in the Salem community and the Salem football team.
It's speed, speed, speed. Those are the 3 words.
Yeah, it's speed, unpredictability, and then speed on top of it again. It's unpredictability in a speed sandwich, and that's Blaze X-Line for you.
There was a play in the Firestone game, Blaze, where I think it was like a bubble screen or something, and if you paused it when you caught the ball, the defenders had an angle on you, and then that angle went away very, very quickly. When you kind of see and you get the ball, you look out and you see maybe this defender has an angle on me, maybe he doesn't. I mean, what are you thinking when you're running down the field and you're just trying to get as many yards as you can and run by people that you do so much?
I mean, it's really just like a not think, just do thing for me. So, I mean, I really couldn't tell you. It's really just like, just do it, and then it just happens. So, I mean, I really couldn't tell you.
It just comes natural, it seems like to you. But talk to me here, and this is going to be an easier question. What do you like more? Long streak route catch, deep catch, 40-yard pass in the air? Or do you like the screen passes where you have to do a little bit of the work and juke a few guys to get those 40 yards?
Both I love to do, but I'd say the ones that bring the most joy to me are like the street catches, because where you burn a guy on a route, those are pretty fun to do. And it also gives Jackson pretty good looks. I love making Jackson throw a nice long ball and then me make a nice catch. So
before we let you go, I want to know what are some of the things you like about this coaching staff and being coached by them, and some of the things that they've been able to instill in you, not just on the football field, but life skills as well.
Well, we've actually learned a lot of stuff. I mean, Coach Johnson taught us really everything, so many life lessons and stuff. The amount of quotes he's told us is insane. So, I mean, there's so much stuff I've learned from playing football.
Ty, you got to unmute.
There we go. My final question for you, Blaze, is I just want to give you a spotlight a little bit to preview this game against Minerva and tell people to go out and see you guys.
Come out and watch. It's just gonna be a fun game, really. You know, really fun team. You go out, throw the ball, make good plays. Just a team you just want to come see watch. That's really it.
Blaze, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Congratulations on your Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley win this week. We expect a more great performances from you, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yep. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
That was Blaze X-Line, the Salem Speedster, maybe. I feel like that's underselling it.
Just call him the X Factor, man. There's no work. It's the X Factor. The Salem X Factor.
I forgot to even hold it up.
Yeah, but that's the Salem X Factor, and that's all you need to see. Go check them out, though. I mean, Salem, fun team to watch. And, I mean, if you have yet to see them, whether in person, and if you can't make it in person, catch it on YSN, but you need to see this team play because they are so fun to watch.
I wasn't exaggerating. That Firestone game, there was that play where if you paused it, you're like, this kid's going to get tackled. He's going to make like maybe 4 or 5 yards. There's a great angle right there. And that angle just disappeared like that. And then all of a sudden, Blaze is running down the field for 40, 50 yards. It's remarkable.
Speed is the duct tape of football. It fixes all, man. It fixes all.
And if speed can't fix it, it ain't fixable.
No, not at all.
Oh, man. We got some recaps and scores to announce from last night as we dive into our Tuesday edition of Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. As we prepare to do that, I want to remind everybody that the comment section brought to you by Boardman Mitsubishi is live, and we would love to hear from you. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, leave us a comment, and we would be gladly bring it up. Also, the fan line's open, 330-886-0813 if you want to call and talk to us. We would love to hear from you. We start with the marquee matchup on the volleyball court last night. Undefeated Garfield, undefeated Crestview. I was there in Garrettsville. Something had to give, and Crestview flexed hard. They swept Garfield 25-14, 25-13, 25-22. Lucy Montgomery, another great night for her. She was up for Bear Dogs last week. 12 kills, 7 assists for her. Grace Hour also had a great night. She got the majority of the assists with 10 digs. She led with 10 digs. 8 assists, 8 kills. Sorry about that. Abby, 5 kills, 4 blocks, and that was the stats from that game. We also got to catch up with Miss Montgomery as a post-game interview, so we're going to pop that on, and we'll hear what Lucy Montgomery had to say after Crestview's big win over Garfield. Anthony Hartwick here with tonight's Baird Brothers player of the game, Lucy Montgomery. Lucy, first time here at Garfield as a league match. They were undefeated. You were undefeated. What was the energy like tonight?
Oh, it was insane. We were so excited to come play them.
Get to play in a student section for the first time. Your coach just told me how exciting that was. What was it like?
It was so exciting. It definitely made us more energized and excited for the game.
You guys get the 3-set win. Just go through the flow of the game. What kind of went right for you guys, and what you think it took to get this win?
I think we definitely had to work on our mental strength and just staying up like through the whole thing. Especially, I think it could have thrown us off that they had a stick section, but I think it didn't because we like built off of that and we played stronger. And we worked really hard with our offense and focusing on like defense and blocking. That was a big thing.
You brought up defense, offense, block. You do it all. What's it like kind of changing mindsets, going from setting to hitting to digging in the back row and everything that you have to do for this team?
I definitely struggled at first, but I think at this point it's just more fun to be able to like switch in different things.
Which one do you like best? I mean, come on.
Probably hitting.
Tell us, what's going to take for this Rebels team to really meet their potential going through the rest of the season?
I think we have to continue to work on blocking and making sure that we're there, and definitely like defense and just like communication, I think, all together. But I think we're doing really, really good.
Crestview stays undefeated. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
That was Lucy Montgomery from Crestview getting the big win. She was everywhere on the court last night for the Rebels. She's always everywhere on the court, doing a little bit of everything. She has multiple triple doubles on the year, and you can see the reason why. She loves digging, she loves hitting, and she also loves setting. So, what can you say about Crestview? They got the big win. They stay undefeated. They stay at the top of the MVAC. But if you're a Garfield fan out there listening, I want to give you some hope because that last set, they kind of adjusted to Crestview's speed, Crestview's level of play. I just don't think Garfield was used to or ready for the speed and the level of volleyball that Crestview came in with that night. I don't think they'd seen it yet. And that last set, they kind of got used to it, and that's why you saw it be a little bit more competitive, 25-22. I think it'll be a much more competitive game the second time around when Garfield comes to Crestview.
And you know what? This is also a case, too, where if you let the fan part of your mind take over a little bit, you're going to always be upset with a loss, and coaches are too. But I think what coaches look at, especially in volleyball with the regular season, when everyone makes the playoffs at the end of the year, you're testing yourselves against some of the area's best teams. And granted, some are conference and you have to play them. Some you get a chance to schedule out of conference. But the point is you get to see where you're at against every team. Would you rather play Garfield or would Garfield rather play Crestview in the playoffs when this might happen and then you're all done? No, you want to rather play them, test yourself, see what you need to improve upon, and then you get to again test yourself again against the Garfield and Crestview get to play each other again, so you get to test yourself again against Crestview. I think this is a loss where when everyone makes the playoffs in sports such as volleyball at the high school level, you are just trying to test yourself each and every game, and you see where you land and you see where you sit amongst other competition, and it lets you know what you need to get better at, what you need to improve on, and where you stand and what you already kind of are good at against some good teams. Some good things we saw from Garfield last night against Crestview. There's some things that they can definitely improve on, but now they know and they have those results, those answers, and they can now look forward going forward.
Talking about testing yourself, Lakeview went and tested themselves against Division I Canfield, and boy, did they show up. Lakeview got the win in straight sets, 25-18, 25-19, 25-19. Junior setter Maggie Pavlansky finished the night with 24 assists, and that was enough to eclipse 1,000 in her career as a junior. So plenty more of assists to go for Miss Pavlansky. Tara Lytle had a great night, 14 kills, 3 blocks for her. Emma Schmader added 7 kills from the middle. And Brooke Schneider, the defensive specialist, led the defense with 17 digs. Maddie Bayes also had 15. Canfield, they've had a rough couple of days. They're starting to struggle a little bit. But Lakeview, we saw them. Their only 3 losses on the year are Girard twice and Crestview, who we just talked about. So looking pretty good for Lakeview. They're testing themselves. Big win over Canfield. Maggie Pavlansky, congratulations on 1,000 assists, I should say. And guess what? Just confirmed, we're going to have Miss Pavlansky on Thursday at 1:15 to talk about those 1,000 assists. So come on Thursday, and we'll talk to Maggie Pavlansky about that.
Yeah, it should be exciting to be able to talk to her again. I mean, Lakeview looking very, very good this season after losing to Girard early on. It looks like they're ready to get that second matchup with Girard.
And that's just props to Gerard for being on a little bit of a different level this year. Gerard got beat up by Lakeview last year, lost both games. This year they came in with a little bit new mentality. Both teams roster-wise pretty much the same. So you just know it's a little bit more intensity, a little bit more maturity from Gerard coming in with sophomores instead of freshmen in Brie Littell and Lauren Pallone. And they were just a little bit better this year.
Yeah, and I mean it was a great match too, and one we saw. I think that you said they came back after being down 2-0 to come all the way back and win that one 3-2. So I think that's one of those matchups that looks really good. And I mean that second matchup too with Gerard, like we said, looking really good against him again. So being able to bounce back after that second matchup with Gerard was huge, I think, for Lakeview, and I think they're ultimately looking forward to the playoffs now. But I think right now, after Lakeview being tested against Gerard twice, I think they really want them again going forward.
Salem protected a home court with a win over United outside the EBC. They swept the Eagles 25-11, 25-9, 25-9. Riley Troy had 7 kills on the night, 8 digs. You look at McKenna Rudy. As a Georgia Tech fan, he was offsides. Just pointing that out. She had a solid day with 5 kills. And Emma Hochadel set up the offense well, 10 assists on the night for her, along with 9 service aces. So great job from her. Grace Knight was a bright spot for United. She had 5 points, 1 ace. Both teams will be in action tonight. Salem will play a host to Alliance, and United will travel to East Palestine. So Salem, the one time they kind of looked down was, again, Crestview. We keep bringing up Crestview. They keep making teams look a little bit down. But other than that, they've been playing really well this year. Even in games where they have lost, they've been really competitive. Just that one game against Crestview where it was a little bit lopsided. But other than that, Salem's looking really pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of teams are looking a little lopsided against that Crestview team this year. And Crestview's beaten the likes of teams like Lakeview as well. So some big names that Crestview has taken down this season as well. So,
you know what opened my eyes last night? They were bringing Abby Emch on slides as a freshman. And I was just like, 6'2", middle block. You're bringing her on slides. You're moving her around. They're one ball in the setting you're to her. Oh, man. It's just... I don't think anyone on Crestview's schedule can beat them.
I mean, they're going to be a very tough team to beat once they get in the playoffs, too.
Crestview can beat themselves. Obviously, any team can beat themselves. But I don't know if Crestview's on. I don't know if anybody on their schedule can come up with a win. I mean, we might be talking about an undefeated Crestview team going into the tournaments.
I mean, you very well could be. I mean, I think they have a plethora of players that are able to take them there. It's so much talent that's congregated there in volleyball right now. And I mean, you're looking at freshmen, juniors, sophomores, seniors. I mean, from the top down, it's a great program, and it's one that has so many, just so much talent. Like I said, that's just congregated in the Crestview area.
Are we bringing back plethora? Or are we doing that?
I feel like I've said plethora before you were saying it yesterday. I was saying it before you tried making it cool.
Ooh. Well, it's always cool when you don't know if you're using it right. So.
Yeah. It's always cool when Anthony Hartwig uses it.
You know that. No one on the corner has swagger like me,
Yeah, we know it.
Hey, we have a fan question today, and I'm wearing a jersey. I love jerseys. I want to know, and I don't know if you have a fan question ready too, Ty, but one I have ready is if you could have any YSN player jersey, who would you get? If they sold high school jerseys and that was a thing that was real, whose high school jersey would you want?
That's a good question too. And I mean, there's a few that I could think of, just some really talented players around the area. But I mean, if you kind of want to go with one, if I want to rep hometown too, I mean, why not just go Bo Brungard and get me a YSU jersey if he's verbally committed right now? Now we know it's not a complete commission yet, but I mean, verbally committed. Obviously, if there's something that goes elsewhere and he gets bigger school offers, I'll rep Bo Brungard then though. But I mean, local guy that, I mean, if he stays local, that would be awesome.
But would you wear his Springfield jersey?
Would I wear the Springfield jersey? Yeah, why not? I mean, they're not a team that plays
Where? Yeah,
that
see,
plays Austintown or anything like that. So
I thought you were going right for Fitch and going with like Devin Sherwood, like grab that number 2.
no, I mean, as much as I love Devon Sherwood too, my thing is it's ones that I would have trouble getting. I could get a Fitch jersey if I wanted a Fitch jersey, but no. Honestly though, I think it would be cool too, and I like the connection of a possibility of going from there to Youngstown State. I think that's really cool too.
There are some jerseys I get because the player is great. There are some jerseys I get because I just like the jersey. So they're both folds because there are some teams that just look fly. I don't care if they were sending out scrubs, I would still get their jersey. And then there are some teams that are like, you have to get that player's jersey because obviously, TC Caffey will be at the front of the list. According to Max Preps, he's leading the nation in running right now. How would you not be able to get his jersey?
That might have to be a fan question another day. Favorite high school jersey look.
Right. We can just add that to today.
Add it to today.
You want, and if so, is it the best high school jersey look that on in the area?
My question is, because we had Blaze on, what my fan question was today, the best quarterback wide receiver combo you've ever seen at high school. Has to be the same high school, has to be wide receiver and quarterback combo that played together. So we're not doing no fantasy like this guy from the 80s, this guy from the 90s. No, it's best wide receiver quarterback combo that you have ever seen.
That's a good one. You know what? I have to go back not too far back because YSN got to be a part of it. Neil Bazzacco and Matthias Combs were just electric together in that year that they went to the state semis. So, and they broke some records. So probably the best receiver in South Range's program history. I know he broke receiving records, and that would be the best one that I've seen with my own 2 eyes. The best tandem.
For me, it's easy. It's last season, and because Fitch was never a passing team, Devin Sherwood breaking all these passing records now, and Todd Simons with what he was doing last year at Fitch in all sports, and we already know where Todd is right now, football-wise. So having Todd Simons and Devin Sherwood, that connection was always incredible. Todd, a big 6'4" receiver that can just burn you with speed, crisp route running, great catching. That's why he's going to the next level for it. And we know what Devin does too on the field. We still have Devin for another year in this area for the rest of this season. But
he had some other weapons with him too, though.
Nate Leskovac. There was other weapons too, but you can't teach height and you can't teach 6'4", and that's what Todd Simons brought you every single time on the field.
You cannot coach 6'4". That's for sure.
So, but that was part of a great tandem of weapons, and still a great tandem of weapons over there. Fitch is doing a great job, and I kind of credit Coach Parker and what he's doing too with the program, treating this more of a modern football team. And we loved what Fitch did for years too. They were a run style football team. They utilized a lot of running. Quarterback was very mobile for years too. Antoine Harris, I remember being a big mobile quarterback for Fitch at one point. But now we look at what Fitch is doing now, and it's much more of the modern style, having quarterbacks that can make those big plays with their arms and their legs, and they're developing the receivers to help them out. And you see that yet again with Fitch.
Niles had a pretty good one for the last couple of years too, with Leonard and Fryer going toe to toe.
You could look at Ursuline right now, and you could probably pick out a couple. With Ja'Kylan Irving and Dean Boyd right now, you could pick both of those guys out as fantastic options for Brady Shannon.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing more and more receiver and quarterback combos. I don't think people could go back to the 80s because I don't know if there was one.
Yeah, there was. There was a few teams I think that were passing, but mostly those Division 1 and 2 schools. It wasn't a whole lot because I think there was only 5 divisions. There was 6, I think, back then. I don't know. Maybe in the 70s there was 5. I know there was 6 before it went to 7. But a lot of your lower division schools, they didn't pass the ball a whole lot. It was a lot of run style football. Yeah, exactly. And but I think they've been around. Especially here in the 2000s, last 20 years, I think they've definitely become way more prevalent. So it's going to be fun to see if anyone else has any that they've seen personally, because I know there's been a ton of great receiver quarterback combos in this area.
We want to hear from you. So best jersey you'd want to get, and also best quarterback receiver combo.
Yep, both at the high school level too. Remember that, both at the high school level. We've asked pro questions similar to this, I think, before on the Power Hour, but we want to shrink it down to the high school level.
Yeah, if someone pops up with Odell Beckham Jr., I'll delete the comment immediately.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony's not having any of it.
I got control. All right. You know what? I think that's a good time for our first break of the day.
Yeah.
We'll take our first break, and we'll be right back with more Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring. And, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Cocos Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocospizza.com. That's Cocos Pizza. We serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need, regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education, and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. And we talked about volleyball results last night, and Fitch was not in action, but they are 10-1 on the year. And they are on the road all week. They're at Howland tonight. They go to Louisville on Thursday, and then they're at a tri-match at Maslin Perry on Saturday. But don't fret, Fitch fans, if you can't go to those games. We have you covered with a little bit of Fitch volleyball this week. We will be Ty, you got a chance to catch up with the setters of Fitch volleyball, Sammy Misick and Aaron Burke. We would love to debut that interview. But before we do, Ty, give us a quick preview and break down what people should expect from this conversation.
Well, yeah, I mean, both of them being seniors too this year, and both Aaron Burke and Sammy Misick. So we wanted to sit down and talk with them, get a little bit of a reflection on the year. And of course, we know Aaron goes down with an injury earlier this year. Sammy takes over, and just to see the kind of the relationship of how close these two are, and I mean how close the whole team is. And I mean, this is more of a special segment that we called Setting the Table, but I mean we want to change it to Setting the Nest for the Falcons. We can as well, but this is the two Austintown Fitch Lady Falcons setters.
Yeah, without further ado, here is Setting the Nest talk with Aaron Burke and Sammy Misick of Austintown Fitch.
Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of our Players Profile. Today we got a couple of Austintown Fitch Falcons senior setters in both Sammy Misick and Aaron Burke. I guess my first question for the both of you two, because we'll jump right into this. This being your senior year, the culmination of years experience too, what kind of first led you both into volleyball? We'll start with you first, Aaron.
For me, like the little Spikers camps that we do here at Austintown Fitch is definitely something that definitely got me into it. And also when I was in 5th grade, I had Coach Bartlett as my teacher, and it just kind of stuff like that, like kind of got me into it, just like being exposed to it. And I really found a passion for it through that stuff.
Yeah, for me, it was also Little Spikers. I think I started playing in 4th grade is when I first did Little Spikers. And also like all my friends did it. So I just started playing volleyball with them.
Little Spikers, I know, is a huge program too in the Austintown area, and it gets a lot of young girls into volleyball at early ages. Now, to the next question, I guess, going and moving into it. We know, Aaron, you went down a little bit earlier this season with an injury, and Sammy, you were able to step up, and it seems like this offense didn't miss a beat. Talk to me a little bit about in the volleyball realm, how important it is and how much you two help each other as setters. And do you guys get a little bit competitive with each other? Sammy, we'll start with you first.
No, I honestly don't think we get competitive because I know Aaron's a great setter. I stepped in. I always do reps at practice, so I always knew that if that were to happen, I would have to play. But at the end of the day, that'll always be Aaron's position. I'm a passer, but I'm glad to set when I have to.
And for you, Aaron, I mean, talk to me a little bit about this position too. I mean, no doubt one of the premier ones in the area to a very good team and some very top kill getters. Talk to me about that role and how you've taken that upon your shoulders and how important that is for you to be on point and perfect almost every single night.
I mean, as a setter, it's hard to accept that not every set's going to be perfect because when you're setting, it's almost like it has to be because you have to put the ball in the right spot. But I think that with the hitters that we have, like Joe and Alyssa, and even our middles like Julia Jordan and Afton Roby, like we're able to adjust to the sets that might not be so perfect. And it's really taken like a load off my shoulders knowing that they're able to adjust and, play well too in situations where it might not be perfect.
Just to preview this Cheney team a little bit, I mean, you guys obviously are coming in the favorites in this one as you guys are one of the powerhouse teams in this area. But looking at this schedule and looking at this group of girls that you guys in particular are playing, you got a big quad match coming up on Saturday, and that's one that a lot of people are turning their eyes to. Talk to me a little bit about when you guys are playing in those situations as opposed to tonight where it's 1 game, 5 sets, when you have a bunch of games back to back to back to back. How that plays a different part in how you guys prepare, I guess, going into a day like that.
Okay, so I would just say, well, tonight, obviously, it's going to be a good game. Probably Aaron will set the majority of the time. I know that tomorrow, with it being 3 games, it makes it a lot easier on both of us because we'll be able to split time. So if Aaron does get tired, I can set. And I don't know. We don't really get in our heads that much. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that in those situations where we're playing for a long period of time, I mean, we get multiple reps in at a time at practice, and we're kind of prepared for, playing those long periods of time without, faulting or making mistakes.
I think there's no doubt that that Coach Bartlett does a great job from a young age all the way up of building those connections and building this volleyball program. Talk to me a little bit about your personal relationships with Coach Bartlett and how much she has helped you grow as not only a player, but also as a person.
She's always been like our number one supporter. She's a great coach, and she's definitely, always there for me, always. And whenever I'm like, kind of getting down on myself a little bit, she's always like, you got it. This is your position. You know what you're doing. And I think that that's really been great for me as a player and for the team as a whole, because she does it for everyone as well.
Yeah, I've known Coach Bartlett since I was very young. She's always been my coach. Even at Little Spiker, she's been my coach. And I feel very comfortable around her. I know I can ask her anything, and she'll always give me an honest answer. I never have to hold back anything. I can say how I feel, and she's very understanding of that.
There's no doubt the type of success that you guys have had with volleyball, and we know your guys' career with the high school and even before that has been relatively successful with the Austintown program. But just take a moment for my final question for the both of you. Reflect a little bit about your experience now, going both of you in your senior years. This is a tail end now of your high school career. Reflect a little bit on not only your volleyball career throughout high school, but reflect a little bit too on your experience with the Austintown schools and the Austintown program and Austintown as a community as a whole. Whoever wants to start with this one, I'm just going to leave the floor and put the spotlight on you guys for a little bit.
Okay. I love Austintown. I love the program we have here for volleyball. I love going to school here. I mean, it's awesome. We have so many different opportunities available to us through volleyball in school. And I really have enjoyed, my time here and being able to, grow and develop through this program and through, just Austintown in general. It's a great community. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like at Austintown, we support every school. We always have some students coming to support us. It's very sad for me being my senior year. It's very emotional because I've been here my whole life, and it's sad leaving my friends, and especially the sport I love, because I'm not going to go on to play it, so it's sad.
As that is going to conclude it for our two setters from the Austintown Fitch Falcons in this edition of Setting the Table. We thank both of you, and we wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That was the exclusive interview with the two senior setters for Austintown Fitch, Aaron Burke and Sammy Missig. Ty, great job. What was some of your takeaways from that conversation now that we've been able to hear it and you were able to talk to both those? You're able to cover both those players as well. Some of your takeaways from talking to them.
I mean, you could just see the confidence that they all have in each other as well as themselves too. I mean, they're a team that plays as a whole unit. And they're not ones that, I mean, you kind of saw it too, where Sammy doesn't try to step on like Aaron's toes. They all know their job. They all know what they're responsible for to make that team work. And they all do a great job at it. And they all know when it comes time to step up what they need to be able to do. And they work as a well-oiled machine in a unit. And you got to give that credit to Coach Bartlett and what she's been able to build with that program over the years. And I mean, it's one of the strongest programs in the area for a reason. And you got to see too, it was a little bit of a preview before that quad match because we knew going into that playing 3 matches, it's hard. You got to play a minimum of 6 sets. Getting prepared for it. But you saw it too. They treat it almost as if it's any other day, and they say, "Hey, we get extra reps." So that's all that matters. They're just ready to play it each and every time out, and you could tell that this volleyball team is ready for the tournament, I think.
Well, now, I mean, you got to be at that quad match, and now we can talk about it because it's already happened. How much did they split time with Aaron and Sammy with setting?
I mean, it was Aaron the whole time, but Sammy comes in, of course, and she's huge. She's huge because that's just having that extra piece that can do pretty much anything on the court that you need her to.
And here's what's also big. Even if Sammy's not in the rotation as a setter, a lot of teams are going to attack your setter on the first touch. They want your setter to go after the first touch, so someone else has to set. Well, if you're a fifth, you're saying, okay, do that. We have Sammy on the floor, and she can set too. So if you attack Erin and make her go for the first touch, then we can have Sammy out there setting up the offense.
I mean, it's just part of what makes this Fitch team so good. The fact that they are 10, 12 players deep at all times.
To add to it, Ella Solly, not a bad setter herself as a libero, so she can go get second touch sets as well.
Absolutely. And you get the height of Afton Roby, Jocelyn Jordan. I mean, Alyssa Leskovac might not be 6 foot, but with her vertical, she might as well be. She can jump out of the gym. I mean, one of the best verticals I think you'll see in volleyball, how she could extend over the net. I mean, this Fitch team, so athletic, has so many pieces. I mean, Marlington was able to get one on them, but I mean, they're just getting better as the season goes along, it seems.
And I'll tell you, the setting was a big question mark for me coming into the season, because obviously you lose a college level setter in Emma Bartlett, who did not run a 6'2", ran a 5'1" last year, did everything. And then you come in with new setters. Yes, they're seniors, but they're new. I didn't know how it was going to go. It went fantastic. It's going fantastic, I should say. Not went. It's not over yet.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to give credit to Coach Bartlett in putting 2 very capable players in that position, and 2 that can step in and do that role whenever you need them to. And the style that Fitch runs, it allows them to be deeper at the setter position now because of the style they're able to run it efficiently against teams. I think that's the most important thing that we see from the Falcons. And I mean, every player can pretty much do everything. And what we're seeing too with Jocelyn Jordan being able, picking digs up now, getting really good at that, getting good at setting. I mean, it's huge for Fitch, I think, as a whole.
Yeah, we have to take a step, and DJ Oakley has come into the studio, and that always means that he has probably some breaking news. DJ, what's going on?
We have some breaking news at this hour. Beaver Local and was it Oakland, I think, that they're playing is not going to happen. The Oakland football team is in quarantine, so that game has been canceled. I'm being told that Beaver Local is working to gather an opponent for Thursday night, as that is when the game was supposed to take place this week. And we'll have more on ysnlive.com with updates to that.
Every time you come in, I just know.
Sorry, man. I wish I didn't. I wish it wasn't. I wish I wasn't the Grim Reaper of our games, but
I was hoping against hope that we had some really cool news to break.
I mean, we will have cool news. We got some cool games tonight on the network, West Branch and Marlington, which I think is going to be phenomenal. We got people excited for that game. And United and East Palestine, which is a battle in the EOAC right now, because up until Wellsville, the buzzsaw of the EOAC, East Palestine's playing some really good volleyball, and United looking to redeem their loss to the Bulldogs earlier this year. But unfortunately, in the football scheme of things, it's Beaver Local is scrambling to find a game right now. And if I know one thing, and I know Bob Beam as well as most people, better than most people, but not maybe as much of his wife or his daughters or son, he's going to be trying to find a game like you wouldn't believe, because Beaver Local is red hot right now, no pun intended, and they want to play some people and make sure that their continuation and staying hot and staying hungry. It's not the right time to sit out a game right now if you're Beaver Local and Coach McKenzie. And I know he wants to play because he is the ultimate competitor.
So if you're happening to be watching out there and you have a football program that has an open date, you can reach out to us. We'll just forward that right to Beam, and we'll try to get you squared up with Beaver Local.
Absolutely. But if you're wanting Thursday Night Football right now on the network, so far it is our one game that we were excited about, a Thursday night game. We were going to do like the Peyton Eli thing.
Right.
Has been postponed. So bad news, but hopefully they're able to fill somebody.
Hey, at least it's only one game so far. So
look what you did. Look what you did.
I knocked. We're good.
See you, boys. Good show.
So there you have it. The Beaver Local Oak Glen game has been canceled for Thursday night. Oak Glen having protocol issues with COVID-19.
Yeah, and I mean, just unfortunate that unable to get that game off, but hopefully Beaver Local can get someone scheduled, because like DJ said, I mean, they've been a red hot team too, picking up 2 big wins over some 2 in-conference opponents in both East Liverpool and Edison. Beaver Local wants to get back out on the field.
And the East Liverpool win was it was a wash. They just went right through East Liverpool. Edison was a very competitive game that they found a way to win. That can be a really big momentum boost. So
And it should be, because Edison's a good football team this year too. They have a very solid program over there, and beating them too in a close one and coming away with your first close victory, I think, of this season, I think is huge for Beaver Local, and I think it's the step in the right direction, and I think it's something that Coach McKenzie wants to take advantage of and strike while the iron's hot, to say.
So they have a couple of days to find a new opponent. At least this didn't happen like Wednesday at 4, and it's like you have 3 hours. Good luck.
Yeah, and I think there's a few other teams too that are non-YSN that I've seen that have canceled too that would match up, I think, relatively well with Beaver Local right now. So I'm curious to see if those games didn't get scheduled, if those teams didn't already reschedule, if Beaver Local would go. There might be a little bit of traveling involved is the problem too, and we'll see how much either team's really willing to travel, or maybe they could find a neutral site.
Early in the season, Jackson Milton just set the bar high and said, we're willing to travel because we lost the game. So I don't think anyone can just say, no, that's too far, because Jackson Milton already said we'll do it. So
yeah, I mean, from what I'm thinking,
Toledo.
There's a few teams that are non-YSN that have already canceled too. Football wise too, didn't Lowville and Waterloo also? I don't remember which side it was.
I hope not.
I might be wrong on that one. I thought there was something that came up with those two as well. But either way, those are the teams that there's a couple other teams, and I can't think of them right now. Their names are slipping me. If I find them, I'll let you know. But there's a couple teams that are out of conference wise, I think in the Portage County area too, that don't have any games this week. So, I mean, if you're willing to travel, another team, if you're willing to go down to East Liverpool and go to Beaver Local, or if you want to come up to Portage County to play, I mean, but I think any team would do just to get a game, and honestly.
Yeah, and so once again, you just stay tuned to ysnlive.com. We'll keep you posted on what Beaver Local is going to do. And let's wrap up our Fitch volleyball discussion real quick. We were talking about their setters and how good they've looked this year. I think one of the big moments for this program was last season tournament game against Perry. Emma Bartlett couldn't play. She was hurt for that game. Aaron Burke stepped up, set really well, and really got a taste of high-level varsity volleyball, was able to set some of their senior hitters that were in there. So I think that moment made this year not as much being thrown to the Sharks as it would have been if she didn't get that moment to get into the varsity game at a big tournament game, by the way, a 5-set win over a Perry team that beat Fitch earlier in the season. And you put a player like that hadn't set all year almost into that situation, and she steps up big. That's gonna drive your confidence for the next season.
She's tremendous too. I mean, she has little tricks too in her repertoire that kind of help her out as well. I've seen her get some kills faking out going 4 sets too, and just a little sleight of hand. And I mean,
the dumps.
Yes, she fakes out better. She's one of the best ones I've seen at the fake out, where it looks like she's going into a set, and all of a sudden she finds a hole in your defense, and she's able to get one on you. She was able to pick up quite a few in those 3 matches on
Saturday.
Saturday.
That from Emma Bartlett, I guarantee it, because Emma was so good at that. Is one of the things that she was good at. And here's something that I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Emma Bartlett did it every now and then, so maybe we'll see Aaron Burke going up the set, and then all of a sudden with the left hand, just kind of hook shots it and gets a really good, like, not just a dump, just a hard hit over, but not squared to the net.
Yeah, I've seen her.
Oh, man.
She uses tricks too, and she's really good at the fake outs as well. And I mean, it provides a whole nother layer to a defense that they need to try to prepare for when your setter is that dangerous and that efficient and that accurate at trying to place the ball in the holes that she sees on the court.
Well, Howland will try to do it tonight. They were competitive with Fitch in the first matchup. You called it. And guess what? Jamie DeSalvo from Howland is also up for Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley this week. We're going to talk a little bit in the 1 o'clock hour about all the nominees. Don't want to give too much away. We're going to really drive big dogs in the next hour, but we're going to see one in Howland.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a Howland team that Coach Bartlett will even tell you is going to be a tough team. I mean, record-wise, they don't look the greatest. I think 5-9 was what their record was last I saw. I'm not sure what if they played last night, but I think what Howland, what we saw from the Tigers last time they played the Falcons is that they really were competitive the whole way through. Falcons were able to come away with some close set victories, but this time it's going to be in the Howland's dojo. So I mean, you got to go into Howland's stadium. You're going to have to try to upset them on their court, and it's going to be tougher to win in Howland because you know they're going to show up, and if the fans show up, it's going to be even tougher. Played them tough at Fitch. We'll see what they can do with a home court advantage.
Absolutely. You'll look at some other DJ brought up Marlington, who beat Fitch, going into undefeated West Branch tonight. Ooh, I'll be there. Am I excited for this one, Ty? It's going to be a knockdown, drag out, powerhouse matchup in the EBC.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to preview it. I mean, what do you must be excited for this one too. I mean, EOAC matchups too. I mean, this is one of the premier ones, I think.
This is like last night both teams were undefeated, but it didn't have the same feel as this one. Like Garfield was trying to prove themselves a little bit, and they did in that last set. They really competed well, and like I said, I think the next matchup will be a lot more competitive. This one, Marlington has proved themselves. West Branch has definitely proved themselves. Like these are two teams that are solid, proven programs, and they're just going to go blow to blow at it. I mean, West Branch has phenomenal defense in the back row. They have Sydney Mercer going in the front row for her attacks. Marlington has a lot of good players, great net defense. It's going to be just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah. And excuse me, I meant EBC. I think I said EOAC, EBC. But no, I mean, yeah, this is one of those premier matchups too. I mean, yeah, we know Salem West Branch is the rivalry, but I mean, Marlington has been one of those programs too, volleyball wise, that has been very, very competitive. And I mean, other sports as well too. We know what their soccer program's been able to do as well, relatively successful as well. But Marlington and West Branch just looks to be a very good matchup. But I think you're lucky to be able to see this one and be able to call this one tonight.
And we can tell you that actually tomorrow, hopefully West Branch wins, because tomorrow we're going to be talking to Penny DeShields, head coach over at West Branch Volleyball at 12:45, hoping that we can talk about a win. But even if we don't, we can talk about 300 other wins that Penny DeShields has had in her volleyball career at West Branch.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, another layer to the legacy of the DeShields family and what they're doing over at that school.
Right?
I mean, with that program.
It's like a family of just boom, 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 boom.
I mean, they're doing some great things with some West Branch programs, and, you know, they're building a lot of athletics over there.
I still want a family roundtable discussion.
That would be very cool.
It's on my wish list with Walt, Penny, and Drew and everyone in the DeShields family.
That would be real cool too. I mean, the amount of questions you'd get, you might be able to take up a whole episode of Running Point with how much questions you have to get, because that's like relatively at least 3 interviews if you get Walt, Penny, and Drew.
Right. I mean, and then you look at it, both the coaches have over 300 wins in their career, and what Drew DeShields is doing on the football field right now is unbelievable. Considering it's his first year going under center. He's a converted wide receiver quarterback, and he's just putting up video game numbers. The play he had in Canton South, I don't know if you were able to watch it at all, if you were able to get up audible call. There was a play against Canton South. He was rolling to his left and just on the run chucked it 60 yards for a catch.
I mean, it's incredible too. I mean, we knew Drew was going to be something special though, and we knew when he stepped into that role, he was going to provide something. It was going to be a spark because he is athletic enough that he can be a spark.
I feel bad because we talked about wide receiver and quarterback combos. We didn't touch Drew DeShields and Jackson Hendershot. Those two putting together a phenomenal season, the duo. That reminds me, by the way, we still do want to hear from our fans on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. What's the best wide receiver quarterback combo you've seen at the high school level? We want to hear from you there. We also want to know jersey swag. You know, what high school YSN jersey would you want if you could get any high school jersey right now? Which team has the flyest jersey, or also which player is just impressing you so much that you can't wait to put on his jersey? Either way, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both are very, very cool questions too. Get you out of these Tuesday blues with overcast and clouds coming over here.
It's a gloomy day, but it's a sunny day on Running Point.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're having some fun.
Always a sunny day on Running Point.
It's always sunny on Running Point.
Yep.
Not the sitcom.
No, not at all.
We'll be right back with more Running Point on YSN Live, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-res futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Planning a project around your home or rental property? Trust the electrical service to the local experts with 62 years of serving the Mahoning Valley. Joe Dickey Electric is your local go-to source for responsive, reliable residential electrical work. From everyday maintenance and repairs to new installations, electrical upgrades, and safety inspections, no job is too big or too small. Call Joe Dickey Electric today, 800-549-3976, or visit DickeyElectric.com. That's DickeyElectric.com.
Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
Welcome back to Running Point, live on YSNLive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. And also the comments section brought to you by Boardman Mitsubishi. We want to hear from you. Leave a comment whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. We would love to see what you have to say. One more tidbit about this West Branch Marlington game that we were previewing coming into the last break. It is first place on the EBC on the line. Marlington undefeated, West Branch undefeated in the league. Marlington 2 losses. They came to Tuskegee Valley and Notre Dame Cathedral Latin, and West Branch is undefeated overall at 12-0. So that's just some more things to get you excited about that game tonight on YSNLive.com. I'll be there with the call. Ty, we got some new. I got to bring you in. Hold on. Not leaving you in the jail. We're good. We got some new big dogs to talk about, and we'll start on the football side. Devin Sherwood, Austintown Fitch. We brought him up a little bit. He's your first big dog nominee. Ty, you see him so much. I mean, try to describe what makes Devin Sherwood so special on the football field.
Versatility, and I mean the ability to just improvise until the very last second. I mean, he's elusive, doesn't go down tackling wise easily. He's pretty fast as a quarterback, so he could pick up large chunks of yards with his legs. Also has a cannon of an arm too. Can throw it 40, 50 yards plus in the air, and pretty accurate at times with that. And I mean, being able to throw on the run, I mean, just very versatile. And the thing about Devin Sherwood too, Fitch rarely runs the ball under center. Almost every play out of the shotgun for Devin Sherwood. So he's always starting 2-step drop in the pocket. He's ready to go. And I mean, it's either take off there, hand off to one of his great backs, or he has a large amount of receivers around him that he can go to, from Donnie Ellis to Tyler Evans to Dan Evans III. I mean, so many guys, Cam Smith, that are so useful to him around him. And I mean, he's able to make them all, I think, a little bit better too, by getting the ball to them and knowing when those guys are open, and, you know, gifting them with catches when all their hard work pays off and they do get open.
One of the things that I like watching him on film, and we broke down one of his plays earlier last week, I think, when we did the 2-point conversion. That play didn't work. But when you watch that play, you can see very clearly Devin Sherwood goes through his progressions as a quarterback. He doesn't lock down a receiver on his eyes. He doesn't stare down receivers. In that play, you know, he's got the ball, and you saw the play was designed to first go for the right, and probably they had a bunch formation. I think they were probably trying to get a rub route in that bunch formation, get someone open in the corner end zone. So as soon as he got the ball, his eyes went to the right, and then you saw his head turn, and he was looking to the left in the flat. Unfortunately for them, Urslin's pressure got to him, and he had to kind of improvise and couldn't get a pass off into the end zone. But his eyes went from right to left, and he went through the progressions 1, 2, and 3. And that's something that it's hard for a lot of high school quarterbacks to kind of get. You see a lot of high school quarterbacks stare down their receiver or lock into, this is where the play is supposed to go, so I got to get there. Devin Sherwood does an excellent job going through his progressions and using his eyes to bait safeties or cornerbacks into one spot or another.
That's why he's one of the premier quarterbacks in the league, man. And I mean, he's one of those guys that just so efficient, so consistent, doesn't make many mistakes. Still, again, through the first 5 games this season, hasn't thrown an interception. And I mean, he's a guy that doesn't really get picked off. Only threw 1 last year, and that was 1 in the playoffs. Didn't throw 1 in the regular season all of last year. He's a guy that doesn't turn the ball over either. So, I mean, he knows when to throw the ball away, and that football IQ very, very high for Devin Sherwood.
You realize if he does this week, it's on you now, right?
What?
You just gave him the broadcast.
Yeah. I'll knock on wood for him.
Oh, man. So Devin Sherwood is the first nominee for the Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley. Voting is unlimited, and it goes till Saturday at midnight on ysnlive.com/bigdogs. Right now, the total between volleyball and football is at about little under 4,000. I want to see how high it can get from now until the end of the show. I am challenging YSN Nation listening right now to get out and vote for these players. We're going to break down the nominees. We want to see those votes go up. So I checked it right before this segment started. It was at about 2,300 total for football, around 1,500 for volleyball. So we want to see those numbers skyrocket during this show, and we would love to see what do you think the goal should be by when we go off at 153 or 154 or whatever.
What is it at right now? What was our votes at?
All right, I'll do a up-to-date total. So the football total is 2,395 right now, and the volleyball total is 1,517. So it's just under 4,000.
Let's see if we can get 7,000.
Oh man, Ty's going big. I love it.
I want 7,000 before 2:00. I think we could do it. What is the goal for the week? What we had over 100,000 last time.
Oh yeah, we want to get 150 plus this time.
150,000 plus votes this time is what we're looking for.
6 nominees in both divisions. We should be able to get that if YSN Nation steps up.
Yeah, fill in those box scores and or fill in those votes, I should say, and just fill in the ballots. Keep going.
The next football nominee, Rocklin Batera. It was only a matter of time till this kid got on the list. Improves every single week, and he's becoming a threat out of the backfield for Crestview. So I think Rocklin Batera, it was only a matter of time before we saw his name pop up.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I mean, one of those guys that is just absolutely huge for Crestview, and I mean has been coming up huge for him. And I mean, another one of those guys that Cusick can utilize, and it's been huge for the turnaround for Crestview as they took a couple games to figure out their season. But I mean, he's been a huge part of the turnaround.
Crestview used him big time in their win over Liberty over the weekend. And that he's going to be continue to be used out of the backfield. And that was one of the things Crestview had a question mark coming into this season. They lost a lot of their backfield, a lot of their speed. Who was going to be the guy to step up and give them a run game? And Rocklin Batera is out here like, I got you. I got your back, Crestview. And every week you see his numbers going up and up and up and up. And also Crestview's offensive numbers are respectively going up and up and up because Rocklin is putting in the work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you see that going from week to week. And I mean, it's been huge for Crestview. And I think it's been making them a viable contender every single time they come on to the field now.
So Rebel Nation, where you at? Let's go. Right? I mean, get your boy some votes. He's been putting in the work, getting better every week. And it's his first appearance on Big Dogs of the Valley. Someone who is next, not his first appearance, not by a long shot, but well earned, and it's TC Caffey trying to get a win this week from Hubbard Nation. I mean, I don't know what to say more about. I mean, what can you say more? He's putting together a just groundbreaking, star-studded season for Hubbard. He's once again, according to Max Preps, and we understand that Max Preps isn't like the official end-all be-all, but when you go up to Max Preps, he's leading the nation in running.
Yeah, and I mean, little to say about TC Caffey that hasn't already been said, and that doesn't speak for itself every time he steps on the football field. And it seems like if you haven't heard his name now, I'm almost insulted because of what he's been able to do around this area week in, week out. It's the show. And I mean, you need to see this kid in person if you can. And if you can't, you got to see him on ysnlive.com because you're going to miss out on the show because it only has a limited number of games left with the Hubbard Eagles that's going to be around the area. But you need to see TC Caffey before the show's gone.
Well, Hubbard is definitely hoping that the games aren't too limited. They make a deep playoff run, and if they do, it'll be largely because of the offensive line and then the work that TC Caffey is putting in behind them. One of the things that I think Dana said about TC, and it is absolutely correct, yesterday, The maturity level has skyrocketed between last year and this year. And I think you saw it in the Poland game. Last 2 years, Poland was able to contain TC Caffey, and I think probably it was because he didn't get off to a good start. And then, the little things, the little details kind of went away. This year, didn't get off to a great start against Poland. Went into halftime, made adjustments, started running the outside a little bit, started to bump out some stuff to the outside, and he still put together a great game against Poland and was one of the reasons why they were able to get that Poland monkey off their back. Mooney the same way. I mean, they hadn't beat Mooney ever. Well, not was it ever, or was it just the last?
I don't think so in the regular season. In the regular season, I don't think they had, or something like that. It was something, some record like that, yeah.
So TC Caffey was able to just show a lot of maturity and work through that and get the first win over Mooney. I think he's doing things that he wasn't doing last year. So the progression from this year to last year from TC Caffey is one of the phenomenal reasons why we're talking about him so much.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I mean, what you see and what they've been able to do, part of why Hubbard's been so successful and why they might be one of those teams we're talking about atop the NE8 at the end of the season.
And the next nominee for football, we stay in the NE8. It's Jack Fulton, and he had 5 touchdowns against South Rain. He worked to bring them back, of course, losing effort, but you can't take away from what Jack Fulton was able to do against a Raiders defense that hadn't given up too much coming into that game.
No, and I mean, Jack Fulton looking really good and almost taking that first loss to the Oakland South Range Raiders.
Geez.
And they're not even in Oakland
Not even in Oakland anymore.
Not even in Oakland anymore. But no, to the South Range Raiders. And I mean, honestly, Poland's offense looked really good against a very good South Range defense. And a large part of that is what Jack Fulton was able to do to the South Range defense.
Jack Fulton does a wonderful job using his legs to his advantage. But he can also throw the ball when he needs to. I mean, he's a dual threat, absolute dual threat quarterback for Poland. And he gives that offense a little bit of dynamicness. I think in years past, people were saying, well, Poland's just run. And they still are run first, but now they have the ability to throw when they need to, and they're not the team that you say, if we get them to 3rd and 6, then we have the advantage. Not anymore, because Jack Fulton is really throwing pretty well, especially when he finds Ross Dito.
Yeah, I think so as well. And this is a case too where Jack Fulton gonna need some work to do. Though Poland looked really good against South Range, but you need to pick up some victories. And I think Jack Fulton's going to be a large part of what Poland's success is going to look like going forward.
And you know what is itching Jack Fulton probably for the last couple of weeks since that Hubbard game? He had the ball in his hands to win the game, and it just didn't work out. He made a great throw to the back of the end zone, and Dito was about this far from getting a foot down in the corner of the end zone. That would have won the game. And it was just one of those plays where you made a good play. It was a great catch. It's a game of inches, and unfortunately for Poland, they didn't get those inches. But then I think Jack Fulton probably looked at the play on film and realized he had a wide open running back out of the backfield. Probably would have been a walk-in touchdown. That is beside the point. He made a great throw to the back of the end zone, and Dito made a really good catch. It just was inches away from getting that foot down in bounds.
Yeah, and I mean, it was unfortunate, but hey, I mean, you got to look forward through the rest of the season, and I think Poland, they should be able to do that. And you live and you learn, and I think Jack Fulton is going to learn from these experiences and get better as a quarterback.
This might be a Poland victory tour for the rest of the season where they just say, okay, you're in a we took our lumps, we took our hits, but don't you forget about us. And this might be the next, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 weeks, 5 games of Poland just kind of throwing people around saying, don't forget about us and leave us in the conversation. They were 12 going into last week. I don't know what they are now. We'll have to look at that on Friday when we do our previews and we look at where teams are sitting as far as the computer rankings. But they were 12 last week going into that South Range game. They're probably in a tight spot right now. And the next 5 weeks will tell us where they'll sit come playoff time.
Yeah, I think so as well. And, I think it's going to be in large part of what they're able to do defensively as well. But Jack Fulton's going to need to lead that offense and give that defense some points to work with. So we'll have to see how Poland adjusts and if they're able to pick up those victories needed to make the playoffs.
another guy that we know a lot about, and Brock Lowry is the next nominee for Big Dogs of the Valley on the football side for Canfield. Brock Lowry, what's a guy that we've talked about a lot. I don't know what else we can say about him. I mean, he's a great quarterback. He is, I think one of his best attributes is his accuracy. He's extremely accurate. He can put the ball at a dime, and he can throw the ball down the field with extreme accuracy. I think Richie would attest to that.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I mean, it's honestly what Richie's been able to call too. I mean, he's had some conversations too with Brock, and of course he does a great job over there with Canfield. So little to be said here, but I mean, what Brock Lowry's been able to do with the Canfield Cardinals has been huge too. I mean, only one loss on the year, and I mean it was pretty questionable because looked like the receiver was in bounds for a few seconds there too, and it looked like Brock Lowry had won the game. But I mean, that's the big thing about Lowry. He's got ice in his veins, and he's got the guts to go down for those game-winning drives and take it all the way to the end of the field.
Here comes Ty playing devil's advocate, bringing up some controversial calls. I love it.
Yeah,
but I love that you brought it up because I think one of the things that separates Brock Lowry and one of the things that makes him the difference between just a good quarterback and a great quarterback, he's got that clutch gene, and you can't really teach it. You can't really coach it. Yeah, a kid either has it or he doesn't, and Brock has it. He has that ability to calm himself down in big moments and just make big plays when his team really needs him. He's proven it time and time again. And I think that's one of the things that makes him, at that next level. We have a lot of really good quarterbacks. He's one of the elite quarterbacks in the area. And I think that's one of the things that separates him, that clutch ability to just slow the heart rate down on big moments and just go and make the play.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no doubt in my mind that Brock Lowry has the ice in his veins to make those deep playoff runs because he's already proven he's able to do it in big time moments in games.
Also, we saw it. Brock Lowry got offered from Iowa State. The Cyclones sending Brock a little bit of love. So congratulations to you, young man. You have another team to kind of choose from when you're talking about where you want to go to college in a couple of years. So Brock gets an offer from Iowa State, and we love to see it. Definitely well earned.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, his play on the field proving just that, why he deserves it, and getting yet again another offer.
Well, his spin moves are like Cyclones anyway, so it makes sense that Iowa State would send him an offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're wrapping up the football side of things, and this guy, he could not be left off. When you break records, you get on the list. It's a rule. Stephen Mara from West Branch, 291 yards, 7 tutties on the ground for West Branch, breaking a school record. Him and the West Branch offense have been phenomenal, but record-setting week for Stephen Mara. No way he wasn't getting on the list.
Well, yeah, and I mean, does anything else really need to be said when you get 7 touchdowns on the ground and you break a school record that's known for putting up 40-plus point games?
7.
Yeah, 40-plus point games are come too easy to that West Branch offense, and when you take part of that and you're able to break a record in that very strong West Branch offense, you've done something really, really incredible. And 7 touchdowns on the ground.
I know someone out there got that reference. I hope someone did. I don't know if Ty did, but I hope someone did. I hope someone makes my heart happy and understood where I was going with that. So, because pop culture references are my jam. So there you go. 7 touchdowns on the day, 291 yards against the Canton South team that put up a big fight. And that score was a basketball score, 63-42. So they needed the offense in that game. They got it. And a bulk of it came from Stephen Mara.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we've seen, too, from Stephen Mara is that he's been adding another layer to this West Branch offense that's going to make them so dangerous going forward.
If you have a run game like that and you have Drew DeShields back there doing what he's doing, as a defense, how do you game plan against it?
Exactly. You almost can't.
It's what you do the old MJ shrug.
Pretty much have to.
That's what we're doing. So that wraps up the football nominees for Big Dogs of the Valley. Let's take a look at where we're at. We sent a challenge. It's been about 20 minutes. Let's see if we've gone up a little bit here. We'll throw someone a vote just to get our total. And it's went up about 200. We're at 2545. So going up from 23, we want to go up a lot higher. I mean, we're calling you out a little bit. YSN Nation, let's go get some votes in. But it did go up about 200 from when we started that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, let's see it. Let's see it continue to climb. Of course, you have all the way until Saturday at midnight to conclude the voting, but we might as well get off to a good start as we're expecting another 100,000 vote performance from the
150. Come on. Give us
that's the goal.
at least.
That's the goal, but you need to at least get over 100 again.
Well, yeah, if you don't get over 100 again, then we're gonna be judging you harder than Judge Judy on 21 FMJ. By the way, go throw a shout out to our partners at 21 FMJ for their content they provide us.
Yeah, absolutely. As we love our partners over at 21 WFMJ, the only true news station in Youngstown, Ohio.
If you ain't 21, then you don't win blackjack, and that's anything higher than 21, you bust, and everything else is higher than 21. So
exactly.
We ride with the peacock. That's how we do. We're gonna take a quick break. On the other end, we'll talk about the volleyball players that have made the nominee list this week for Big Dogs of the Valley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. With our combined 70 years experience, WRS Wealth Advisors is the area's premier wealth and retirement specialist. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services, or visit wrswealth.com. Good luck, athletes.
News doesn't stop after the sun goes down. Sometimes you just have to hustle to get it. At 21 News, no matter how far it is, no matter what it takes to get there, we're working to bring you the best stories and the freshest content at 11 p.m. with the context and clarity that makes it worth staying up for, no matter what time it is. 21 News at 11 with me, Aaron Simonek, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 11, news that's worth your time.
Cocos Pizza, proud to announce our pizza buffet's back every Wednesday at our Boardman and Campfield locations. Adults only $7.99 and kids only $4.99, and $2 beers starting at 8 o'clock. That's Cocos Pizza. We serve it hot.
Every customer has a story, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Hi everyone, this is DJ Yoakley with Your Sports Network. We appreciate your support of YSN and welcome you to the YSN family. Our broadcast streams are brought to you live at no cost to you by sponsors that are local to this community. Without the vision and generosity of our sponsors and partners, we would not be able to bring this game to you today. So please support the great businesses and leaders that are making this game possible. And if you're a business in need of great advertising and sponsorship opportunities, feel free to head over to our site for more information on the right fit for you. We are local, we are loyal, and we are live. We are YSN.
Ah, the details. Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods is one fine ride. Perfect cornering, superb handling, sporty and stylish, power to spare, plus awesome mileage. Yeah, jaw-droppingly beautiful lines and well appointed with luxurious trim. Put more oomph in your life and start beholding the molding. Find your home's fine hardwood at BairdBrothers.com.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, a Tuesday edition. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell, as we are brought to you by our wonderful friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. You can see it above our heads as we love Greenwood and all they do for us. They go the extra mile for you. They go the extra mile for us. We also have the comment section brought to you by Boardman Mitsubishi. Leave us a comment if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ty, you want to remind everyone what the fan questions are for the day?
Yeah, favorite jersey, high school jersey, either look, style, or a player that you would wear's jersey currently that is playing in high school, or all-time high school jersey too. And the best quarterback wide receiver combination that you've ever seen at the high school level is what we're looking for.
We've already broken down some really good ones that are happening in the area right now with wide receiver and quarterback combos, and now we want to dive into some volleyball players that have really got on the scene this week. And this week's Big Dog of the Valley, Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley nominees for volleyball. And we start with Cardinal Mooney's Elena Escavina, who is once again another player that we talk about that does a little bit of everything, gets some digs, gets kills, consistently getting doubles, and was hurt for a little bit, but she's back to full power, and she gets on the list from Colonel Mooney.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been absolutely incredible since she's gotten back. And I mean, what's going to lead this Cardinal Mooney team, I think, going into the playoffs and come tournament time is needing Elena Escavina back. And I think she's proving once again when she is back in that rotation and healthy how big of an impact she has for that Cardinal Mooney offense.
Even with missing 3 matches, Elena Escavina leads Cardinal Mooney in kills. She's second on the team in digs as well. So when you look at her stats, it does not hide the fact that she belongs on this list. She gets on this list here this week.
Yeah, and I mean, what we see too is, well deserving as she's still one of the impact players for that Cardinal Mooney team.
You know, another thing that I think maybe doesn't get talked about enough, just her senior leadership. I mean, she's a senior, multiple sport athlete, knows how to win. She's a great pitcher on the softball field. And when you combine that with just the ability to lead people, then you get a really good senior leadership that knows how to win, knows what the standard is, and then holds people to that standard. Mooney has a lot of those type of players, and maybe the record not really showing it, but we've talked about their volleyball team and the schedule they've put together that does not really reflect how good they are as a team by just their record.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what we see too is they always schedule up. They try to go and prepare themselves for the tournament. And they've been doing that all season long, and they've been competitive in a lot of their matches.
Yeah, and I just want to take a quick look at Escavina's stats to this point. She has 94 kills at the moment in 24 sets played, 24 out of 33 sets on the team. So she's leading the team in kills. And that's one of the things that you look at and you say, you know, there you go. I mean, I said it, leading the team in kills, almost 100 on the season, and you've missed 9 sets, which is probably about 3 matches.
That's incredible that you still lead that entire team in kills, offense, and everything, even with missing matches. just showcases the type of player she is.
So Cardinal Mooney, get out and vote for Elena Escavina. You have until Saturday at midnight. Once again, voting is unlimited. We go to Blake Thomas, representing the Sebring Trojans, getting on the list for Big Dog of the Valley this week. Blake consistently shows up on the stat sheet for Sebring. She leads them in kills, and we decided that this week she put together a very good week, and we're going to get her on, get her name some love. Sebring team that maybe doesn't get talked about as much as they should. They're treading water. They're doing a good job. They're being competitive, especially when you talk about their blocking. I think their net defense might be the best in that conference.
Yeah, very well might be. And, Sebring just seems like they're just a few kind of things away before they really take it to the next level. And I think they have the team to do so right now. It's just a few things I think maybe just, I don't know if it's just a chemistry issue right now, if they just need a few other things to click. But I think that they definitely have the talent there to make those playoff runs.
I think so too. And I think they also have welcome to Tuesday. They gotta have the ability to kind of blend a little bit of youth and a little bit of leadership with that. And we see a lot of teams kind of trying to navigate that this year, not just Sebring, but they have some experience, but they also have some youth that they have to bring up.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, what we're seeing too from Sebring, Blake Thomas, one of those leaders that is absolutely leading the squad too. And I mean, one of those consistent players for the Trojans that it seems like day in and day out, you could always count on her to keep you in sets.
Blake Thomas leading the team in kills with 67 in 35 sets played. So once, we talk about, players that are leading the teams in kills, and Blake Thomas doing that, but it's a pretty balanced Sebring attack when you look at it. They do have, let's see, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 players with at least 50 kills. So a very balanced attack from Sebring. So Blake Thomas being able to lead that balanced attack, very impressive so far on the young season.
Absolutely. And, let's just see what Sebring's able to do second half of the season, if they're able to make those adjustments necessary to take themselves to the next level.
It'll be a good measuring stick. They're starting their second week into MVAC play. So we'll see what kind of improvements they make from the first half of MVAC play.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do it against those inter-division opponents. So we'll see what they're able to do within the within their division, I guess. Yeah, and within their MVAC, their division of the MVAC is what I'm meaning to say.
The next player on the list, someone you've got the chance to call, Jamie DeSalvo from Howland, getting on the list as the next Big Dog nominee. You got to see her firsthand. Talk a little bit about what makes her so special on the volleyball court.
I mean, just one of those players that, one of those hustle players, and that's what Howland really is all about, too. Never giving up on a play. You'll see her diving for the ball at times, too, emphatically going for kills as well. I mean, she's one of those players, too, that is huge to that Howland offense, and one of those players that I think Howland's going to have to lean on, too, to have that very good second half of the season that I think they're capable of having, because they are competitive each and every night out with some very, very good teams. And you got to remember, they play up divisions a lot too. So, I mean, what they're playing too is some of the best teams in the area, and they're competing very well night in and night out. And it's only going to prepare them come tournament time.
I got to watch your broadcast with Howland and Fitch. And what I saw from DeSalvo is just a very cerebral volleyball player. When she goes up for a kill, she's really good at reading where the defense is. You see some outside hitters in this level of volleyball just say, I'm going up with a cross-court hit. That's that. I don't care where the defense is. That's what I'm doing, and they make that decision almost before they jump. Jamie DeSalvo does a really good job of reading the defense and kind of almost deciding where she's going to go in midair, because if she needs a cut shot to get around the block, maybe she needs a soft touch to get over the block, maybe the defense is shading towards the cross-court, she needs to go down the line, whatever it may be, all those decisions that have to be made in a split second, she's really good at reading that and then making that decision late enough that it's hard for the defense to react to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's part of what makes that Howland offense very, very good. And I mean, part of the reason why I think if you start finding ways to get her the ball more and get her more swings, I think you're going to see a very good second half of the season for the Howland Lady Tigers.
Next on the list is someone that it was inevitable. She's going to get on the list. Presley Stokes from Wellsville, one of the more dominant players that we see in the area. She rules the EOAC. If the EOAC had a player of the year, it'd probably be Presley Stokes. And it's been Presley Stokes for a while. So she's one of the reasons why Wellsville is so dominant. And one of the reasons why teams in the EOAC have such trouble when they have to go up against Wellsville.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you get a chance too covering the EOAC a lot too, and I know DJ gets a chance as well. I haven't had really the chance to see her, but I mean, from what I've seen too, I mean, I've read stories, I've seen some clips and some highlights of her too, and I mean, what I've seen of her too is she's just one of those. I mean, a dominating force. She's one of those when she steps on the court, it feels like everyone from the other team kind of takes a little bit of a step back, and they realize who's on the court and how aware they all have to be of her every time she steps on the volleyball court.
I feel like some players step on the court hoping they'll have a good night or hoping they'll be dominant or hoping they'll get kills. Presley steps on the court knowing. I think she just says, forget about hope. She's probably one of those people that's like, hope is a waste of time because hope is no action. And I am going to know that I am the best player on this volleyball court. And 9 times out of 10 with Wellsville, she's right.
Yeah, and I mean, showcasing it yet again, and I mean, getting herself a good enough week to earn her big dog nods, and we knew it was only a matter of time. And get out there and vote now, Wellsville.
And I'll tell you what, she's going to be tough to beat because I've already seen plenty of social media love for Presley Stokes from the Wellsville community. So you got to know that her vote total is going to be tough to beat. So it's a call to action, not just to Wellsville, but the other communities on this list. You're up against a tough one. So get out there and vote. Voting is unlimited and once again is going until midnight. The next one is someone that I'm excited to get on this list because they're a young player, shows a lot of talent. I got to call one of her games. Peyton Slavesco from Hubbard gets on the list as a nominee. And the NE8 has all of a sudden become a conference full of young talent. You see Girard, young talent. You see Lakeview, only with one senior. You see South Range with some young talent coming up in their middle. A lot of young talent in the NE8 and Peyton Slavesco, one of those ones that we talk about. Sophomore, young, but very talented for the Eagles.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Peyton Slavesco, one of those players that you have a feeling too. I believe also plays basketball as well too. I feel like that name rings a bell because I definitely think I've seen her play basketball before, and that was in her freshman year last year, and what she was able to do there as well is incredible. I believe her dad actually might be a coach or an assistant coach on the team, if I'm not mistaken, for Hubbard. So I think it's one of those cases too where Slavesco, one of those just premier athletes, I think, for the Lady Eagles. And I think, honestly, you'll see her name pop up in a multitude of sports. But, I mean, just one of those athletes, just complete all-around athletes and showcasing it now on the volleyball court.
One of the things that really stood out to me about her game when I got to call their win over South Range not too long ago, her footwork is very, very good for a young player. I mean, Josh Kelly talked about it yesterday, how important footwork is in volleyball, and especially in transition. You know, she's called on the block, so she has to come down off the block and then get into a hitting stance and then go up and go right into transition to hitting. She is very good at that, being always in a position to hit, whether she's blocking on the right side or the left. Even if they're running her on a slide, they can do a lot of things with her because her footwork is really, really good, especially for a young player.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be exciting to see her play for the next few years and see how high her ceiling really is, because I think her potential is limitless.
I tell you, her ceiling is like it's clouds, man. Ceiling is the clouds for Peyton Slavesco. I loved watching her play. I think she's got room to grow, and that should scare people.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's going to be part of what makes this Hubbard team very good going forward.
And rounding out the Baird Brothers Big Dogs of the Valley volleyball nominees this week, Garfield gets there first. They got the football last week. Now they get their first volleyball entrance into Big Dogs, and it is their leader in kills, Montana McGranahan. And I got to see her last night. Powerful swing out of the outside. Also plays pretty good in the back row. Really good serve. Really good all-around player for Garfield. One of the reasons why they were undefeated coming into last night, and they're still 10-1 on the year.
I mean, a great player with a fantastic name too. I mean, you love that last name as well. And you know what?
It just rolls right off the tongue. Montana McGranahan. I mean, it's like right there. It's
what you've seen too. I mean, with Garfield too. Part of why Garfield's been so successful this year, I know, suffering their first loss to Crestview, but I mean, you look at what they've been able to do elsewhere. Very, very successful season at this point for Garfield, and I think what we're going to see going forward is more success, and I think Montana has had a huge part of that.
Montana and then her sister Cadence, both making that team what it is, and I think they'll bounce back from that loss pretty nicely, and it might be set up the next time that those two meet where Garfield's one loss, Crestview still undefeated, and it will still be the MVAC on the line in that second matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, just get out there and vote. We have some great communities on both sides, football and volleyball too, that I know back their teams wholeheartedly. So get out there, vote, get these vote totals up there. We want at least 100,000, but I think you guys can get over 150.
YSNlive.com/Big Dogs is where you go to vote for your favorite volleyball and football player. Brought to you by our great friends over at Baird Brothers. We love what they do for us. Let's see where we're at, Ty.
Yeah, we are at 20.
Oh, the football's gone up another 200.
27, 22, 1860 for volleyball is what I'm getting.
It's going up. It's going up. It's going up. I mean, we like to continue to see that. We were under 400 at the start of this hour, so in just an hour, we've gone up at least 200 votes. So not exactly what I mean. Ty set the bar high.
I always set the bar
really, really high. I mean, so I don't think there's a shame in not getting to where he said. I mean, always set the bar high, but still, I mean, going up about 250 votes in just under an hour, pretty impressive from YSN Nation.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just keep getting out there and keep voting too. Get your favorite player, their Big Dog nomination. We'll bring them out on the show or get an interview for them and have it on the show.
Yeah, we are very committed to making sure our Big Dog winners get limelight on our show at some capacity. So we'll continue to do that, whether it be live or a pre-recorded interview with them. We will make sure that they get on.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to just make sure we highlight our Big Dogs and give them a little bit of a love for the community showing out for them.
It's a big dog, not a chihuahua. It's a big dog. All right, and that's what they are. We love to see it. Brought to you once again by Baird Brothers. We're going to take one more break. We'll be back to wrap this show up next on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
It's a new year at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi with huge savings on over 350 fully inspected vehicles. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and work vehicles. We don't have it, our team will find it. We aim for 100% credit approval with payments as low as $99 per month. And as always, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. For a great vehicle and a great experience, come see why everyone is stopping by at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi.
60 years ago, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods began with 3 siblings, a hand-set sawmill, and a few local orders. And while business has certainly changed over the years, what has not are our principles of hard work, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. At Baird Brothers, we're proud to put our name on the products we create, from moldings and doors to flooring and lumber. Thank you for 60 great years. We look forward to 60 more. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Right now,
Welcome back to Running Point on YSNLive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hart alongside Ty Bartell. Excuse me for a minute. All right, we're good. Alongside Ty Bartell, we want to thank our guest from today, Blaze X9. How about him leading off the show with some very good interview with him? So thank you for his time. Want to thank Sammy Music and Aaron Burke for their time earlier in the week. Ty, you got their interview pre-recorded and taken care of, so we want to thank them for their time as well. It was a great show. Tomorrow on the show, by the way, we're going to have Scotty in the studio. He's going to try to stump Ty like he does every week. Ty's going to say good luck with that. Ty, what do you think? You think you got it?
We'll see. We'll see what he brings this week. I mean, we know he likes to change it up week to week. We'll see, because I usually try to study obscure stuff, and then he brings stuff that he thinks he might be able to slip me up on. We'll see if I study the right things before tomorrow.
He's only gotten you twice so far, so we'll continue to do. I think that the tally is 11-2, Ty. So we'll continue that segment. Penny DeShields, head coach of West Branch Volleyball. Hopefully we're talking about a big win over Marlington at 12:45. Either way, we have 300 other wins to talk about because she got that milestone last week. Excited to talk to her at 12:45, and that's going to lead us right in to Brian Tolnar. It's the season finale, and we'll talk about the Ryder Cup. We'll talk about high school golf. We'll talk about things going on at Mill Creek before we kind of say goodbye to Brian for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, we obviously love having Brian on this show, and we hope we can have a continued partnership with Brian Tolnar each and every golf season, because he brings such an expertise and such a local love, too, from all the golfers from either YSU or from local area high school teams as well. So we always, of course, love having Brian Tolnar on the show.
We're going to have fun with Brian in the season finale, no doubt about that. Before we get out of here, let's look at what is coming up tonight on the network as far as volleyball goes. You will have United at East Palestine. DJ will be there. You have Lakeview at Poland, the school, taking care of that, as they always do with the home games of Poland. You got Struthers at Niles. The school will take care of that as well. I believe that's in Struthers. And then you have Marlington at West Branch. I'll be there. West Branch 12-0, Marlington 9-2. Both undefeated in the EBC. Should be a big matchup. You'll also have Wellsville, who, once again, there's a big dog at Wellsville. Get out and vote for Miss Stokes as they travel to Lisbon. Rick Daly will have the call there. There are soccer teams in action, and it is boys' night as Brookfield goes to Camel. Champion goes to Newton Falls. Waterloo goes to Middle Ridge. Crestview goes to LeBray. Crestview going to LeBray. Canfield going to Austintown Fitch. Then you have Niles going to Hubbard, and Ursuline going to Warren G. Harding. Some other volleyball games going on tonight. Springfield will be at Waterloo. Hubbard will be at Girard. Austintown Fitch on the road against Howland. Crestview will come off their win last night. They'll go to Champion. LeBray will go to Newton Falls. Liberty will go to Brookfield. And Valley Christian will be on the road at Southern. So those are some other games going on tonight. Get out and watch. If you're going to a soccer game real quick, we'll get you your 21 Storm Tracker forecast. It's going to be cloudy, a little cooler than the last week, but no rain in the forecast as of now. Kickoff time would be 7 o'clock for soccer, and it is slated to be cloudy and 73. So maybe some sprinkles here and there, but we should be staying away from a lot of the heavy rain. Some of the soccer games last night had a lightning delay, so we are staying away from that hopefully tonight. And according to our folks, our partners over at Storm Tracker 21, we should be all in the clear.
Yeah, as we are starting to say goodbye to our last warm nights of the year and starting to get real into the thick of the fall nights of 50 degrees and cool and a little bit of rain.
No bueno. No bueno. All right, that is it for today's episode of Running Point. Casual sports talk coming up next from 2 to 3, and then the Power Hour from 3 to 4. Don't miss either one of those shows. We'll be back tomorrow from 12 to 2. Until then, Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartell saying so long, 22-hour break.